So see, technology changes, but the way you function, it's all remains the same, right? What basically you do in the product owner. So as you explained that AI, ML, no code, low code, these are the current trends.
We have to every few years we have to reskill ourselves just to be
Right.
stay relevant in the industry. That's how the software industry is here. Okay. And this is the case of because they did not have the data. They did not have the data to really find out that कि उनकी जो population है 300 million की.
तो आज के टेक एक्सेल के गेस्ट हैं विनय तिवारी. ही इज़ अ फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन एंड वेरी ग्रेट लीडर. राइट नाउ ही इज़ इन जर्मनी एंड डूइंग ग्रेट फॉर द इंडस्ट्री. उन्होंने इस पॉडकास्ट में काफ़ी सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन शेयर की है. उन्होंने बताया हाउ समवन कैन स्टार्ट देयर करियर. उन्होंने ये भी बताया उन्होंने कैसे अपने करियर को क्राफ्ट किया है एंड नाउ ही इज़ बिकम अ प्रोडक्ट ओनर. उन्होंने काफ़ी सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन शेयर की है, करंट ट्रेंड्स शेयर किए हैं, करंट टेक्नोलॉजीज़ कैसे चल रही है, कैसे टेक्नोलॉजी शेप अप कर रही है. तो हमने काफ़ी सारी बातें की हैं इससे रिलेटेड. और उन्होंने एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट आस्पेक्ट समझाया है मेंटोरशिप को लेकर के. उन्होंने ये बताया एक अच्छा मेंटोरशिप कैसे आपके करियर को शेप अप कर सकता है एंड आई टोटली रिलेट दैट. तो हमने काफ़ी कुछ बात किया है इस पॉडकास्ट में. आप इस पॉडकास्ट को पूरी अंत तक देखिए, आपको काफ़ी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगी इस पॉडकास्ट से.
So hi Vinay, welcome to my channel. Uh, I would like to start with your some introduction and then we'll go further questions. So अगर आप अपना दर्शकों को अपना बताना चाहते हैं अपने बारे में कुछ बता दो and then we'll start some question answers for you.
Hi Brijesh, and thanks for calling me in, and hi to all of your audiences. So मेरा नाम विनय कुमार तिवारी है. I'm 35 year old. I'm living in Fürth, Germany right now. I have 12 years of professional experience, predominantly with Siemens, 11 plus years, and 1 year with Tata Communication in Pune. I have worked in Bangalore, and then I've worked in, or I'm working in Fürth. मेरा hometown भोपाल है, Madhya Pradesh, where I was
Okay.
born and brought up. I've done also my engineering in Bhopal, and then I moved to Pune for Tata Communication, working in Tata Communication. Then I worked for 13 months. Then I went CDEC in Bangalore, जहाँ पे हम दोनों ने साथ में टैक का कोर्स किया, डिप्लोमा एडवांस कंप्यूटिंग, एंड देन आई जॉइंड Siemens in 2011.
जो टेक एक्सेल का जो हमारा ये सीरीज है इसमें हम जनरली ये देखते हैं कि हम बुलाते हैं टेक एक्सपर्ट्स को इंडस्ट्री के. और मेरी नज़र में यू आर द एक्सपर्ट बिकॉज आई नो यू फ्रॉम आई कैन नॉट रिमेम्बर, आई थिंक 10 years, या 10 12 years, राइट? 12 years हमने काफ़ी साथ मतलब पढ़ाई भी की है साथ में, फिर काफ़ी मौज मस्ती भी की है. तो बट नाउ इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द करियर पर्सपेक्टिव, तो तुम्हारा प्रोग्रेशन मैंने देखा है. आई मीन योर प्रोग्रेशन इज लाइक inspiration for everyone, right? So if you can just tell us about the progression, how you started your journey in your career, right? Because I know you came from telecom background and then you switch to the software as a software engineer, right? So ye progression and then now you are in product owner, right? Leading big products for Siemens. तो ये एक काफ़ी अच्छा इंटरेस्टिंग यूज केस है हमारी ऑडियंस के लिए. हम जानना चाहते हैं कि आपके बारे में, कि आप कुछ अपने प्रोग्रेशन के बारे में बताओ कि कैसे आपने प्रोग्रेशन किया है अपनी जर्नी का, टेक्नोलॉजी का. कई सारी टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम कर चुके हो.
First of all, thanks मुझे एक्सपर्ट कहने के लिए. Second thing is, yes, we know each other since 2011, I guess January 2011.
राइट.
So अभी almost 13 साल या 12 साल हो गए. We studied together और मौज मस्ती भी काफी किया हमने. So as you said that I started in telecom industry. So मेरा study ही electronics and communication में हुआ. So I'm not from computer science background. And then I joined Tata Communication just after finishing my Bachelor of Engineering. I joined Tata Communication. I've worked there for 13 months in Pune. It was not what I was expecting. Yeah.
Okay.
मैंने expect किया था it will be hardcore, you know, uh, communication network job. Yeah. You know, Cisco devices, you know, and everything. Yeah, working on protocols. Yeah, designing the network and all. That was not the case. And then I really started thinking about कि अभी मेरा इसमें क्या है career and all. And then my brother who was in the IT industry suggested me कि you should see that if you really want to change, yeah, and if you're interested in computer science, you really should try to, you know, see whether you would like to work here. And then he suggested me to look for CDEC because CDEC offers course called DAC. Then I thought, okay, let's try this. I had interest in computers because थोड़ा बहुत computers, so B में भी पढ़ा हुआ था. And then I started preparing for CDEC. Luckily मुझे Bangalore center मिल गया. And then I started in DAC, and I guess that was like my best 6 months of my learning, you know, life in yeah, in my whole life. 6 months में इतना कुछ सीखा that has changed me forever. And then I started in Siemens, yeah, as working as a software engineer. I worked on many things. So I was in industrial automation, factory automation, yeah, uh, where we were working on the HMI devices, human machine interface devices, which is like how you operate, you know, things on the manufacturing or shop floor of the factory where things are getting managed. You want to control, you want to operate. So they create dedicated real-time devices where you can give input, where you can see the output of processes and everything. So I started working on that. I worked there for uh, in that particular portfolio for two years. Yeah, almost, yeah, 2 years. Windows as well as Linux. So वहां से मेरे को uh, obviously मैंने start Windows से किया था. Windows C. I don't know how many people have heard about it, but then I moved to Linux part of it, which was like much more interesting because then you can see each and everything from the driver development to the you know, the graphic rendering, yeah, everything. Communication was much more than I was expecting actually. This was really good, yeah. And that's where I came into contact with, you know, uh, a framework called as Qt, which is basically you write code once and you deploy everywhere. Yeah, that was the concept behind, you know, Qt. And with that, yeah, I think after the second year, I actually moved into the development of mobile application. That's the time, yeah, my company was starting also development in mobile application because that was the hot
And
trend.
this you're talking about the in the time of 2012, 13, 14, right? 14, I guess.
Yeah, 13, 14. Yeah.
14.
So mobile application was in the
Hot that
limelight.
day. Yeah,
Yeah. So I started in that. Uh, and it was a very small team, so you have to do basically everything. Yeah. So you have to
everything.
develop the Android application, you have to develop the iOS application, and that gave me perspective because I worked in, you know, Android application development. So I knew Java. I was very well, you
Hmm.
know, in Java, but I
Yeah, I
did
know
not do
that.
Objective C.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Objective C was like, you know, okay, completely different in terms of, you know, syntaxes and
Hmm.
semantics. It was completely a different language, but I learned it. Eventually, I started working on that one. I realized that okay, yeah, this is also, it's not that, you know, alien to us.
Yeah.
There I worked for, I think, till 2016. Yeah, 15, 16, I worked in mobile application development. काफी कुछ सीखा. Uh, Many things, yeah, how you manage, you know, or optimize resources and all. Again, in application development, optimize resources, camera recognition, you know, light sensing, lot of things, you know, we tried out. We developed quite a lot of applications. I guess six. Yeah, last application which I developed was actually for the smartwatch, called as Notifier, where you basically get notifications. Yeah. So whenever there is some value going up and down, you get notifications on your watch. That was the last application. So let's say we covered everything from a mobile application to smartwatches, and you know, and then I started, yeah, but slight time I worked in cloud also, but only on the IoT services of the cloud. And then I actually, and that was like very limited period, like 6 months. And then I started with edge computing. So that was also very new at that time in 2017, very new, yeah. In terms of our industry where we work, yeah, automation, industrial automation, it was a new thing. And everybody wanted to, spend a lot of money or ready to spend a lot of money. So we also started, yeah, with the with the proof of concept, technology demonstrator, and then getting eventually the funding for the project, yeah. Uh, that was one of my, so my mobile application project and this project, I've seen the whole life cycle, like from the start, how you really propose the idea, and then eventually how you get the money to really make, yeah. Like, how they decide the go to market strategy and everything, how they plan. And in mobile application development, my developer tha, but in edge computing I was much more than, yeah, because initially I was involved, yeah. So I was from the technical, background. So yeah, senior developer, architect, like that I have worked, yeah. And was a very fascinating, because abhi tak mobile edge computing was not there. And then we were thinking about a lot of things. Ki first we should focus on infrastructure, or
Hmm.
for processing, or for connectivity, and so on. Yeah, and then yeah, the hyperscalers like Amazon and Microsoft and Google also started spending money on edge. So it's become really difficult, with the competition. But I guess, yeah, somehow, yeah, we survived. And it's, yeah, I think this project is still running. But then I decided in 2021 that, okay, after 4.5 years, I decided now for me the time to change. I worked there as a product owner. Actually, initially one 6 to 7 months I worked at it, in the, no, almost yeah, 6 7 months, or close to 1 year I worked in technology part, and then I moved to the product owner role. In 1 year, basically, I from two products, I graduated. So I started handling a portfolio of product or mobile applications. Oh, sorry, mobile application, edge computing applications. So from product owner to a little bit more than a product owner. They used to call it as area owner, but it is practically a product owner job with multiple portfolios. And then in 21, I left and I joined a completely a different domain, from industrial automation to smart infrastructure, distribution systems. And there they were working on something called as configure price quote, to
Hmm.
basically provide a possibility for user to configure their products, yeah, and buy what they really want, yeah, and to get a standardization on the manufacturing side also.
Hmm.
ये काफी fascinating है ये project. And they were they are actually really thinking about the core thing is not just moving to a new system or called as CPQ, but they are also concerned about their data or their knowledge. So they are managing their knowledge in the knowledge graph, yeah, and that's what has fascinated me, and that's why I came into the project again as a product owner, yeah, and handling the whole product, or our, we called it a future of CPQ, the FCPQ solution, yeah. It's a big team, yeah, but yeah, that's where I am since 2021.
It's a great journey. So you started from as a software engineer, then you progress. I mean, I think you have seen all the layers of the technology, right? So like on the driver layers also you have seen, on the application layer also you have seen. Now, once you have hands-on of each and everything, you also works on the mobile devices, Androids, iOS, both you have worked. Most of see technology changes, but the way you function, it's all remains the same, right? And then you now working as a product owner, which is so. Do you think of becoming a product owner? So my question now, what basically you do in the product owner? So as a technologist, if someone's coming moving towards the product owner, or as a non-technology background, if someone's moving towards the product ownership domain, right? So what is the difference you have seen? Because you worked as a technologist and then you moved to the product ownership, right? So I think you know a lot of things, right? You know the technology, you know the business. Now both thing combines, and then you have a lot of good perspectives to show to the customer, right? So at end of the day, you are dealing with the customer. Everyone is dealing with the customer only, right? तो क्या एक्चुअली में रोल्स होता है, और हाउ यू कैन, हाउ समवन वांट्स टू मूव, तो कैसे उसको यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं, हाउ यू कैन मूव.
So, being a to be become a product owner, you really don't need to know a lot of technology things, yeah.
Okay.
But it depends also what kind of product you are talking about, yeah. Agar product is very heavy in terms of technology and all, then you require somebody who understands also the technology. But generally preferred is that product owner should know about the domain, yeah, about the domain of the business, yeah, or the problem, yeah, which they are trying to solve. So product owner need to know about it. Even it could be that he does not know anything about the technology. In some cases, the product owner has to know about the technology also. Like for example, the product owner is taking care of, something like search engine, yeah. Then product owner has to also know about, the
How
technology
search engine
domain where
function.
it is. Yes, how search engine function, how they, yeah, group the results, yeah, how you present the results. So there are different, but generally the product owner has to know about the domain. But that means that it is open for both the sides. Somebody who does not know anything about technology can also become a product owner, and as a person who knows about the technology can also become a product owner. So
But the technology will gives you a slightly edge
yes,
on top
yes,
of, so that you can
yes, it
easily.
gives, yes,
Yeah, but if you have a business understanding, I think technology doesn't matter. You can directly switch to the product ownership. But if
yeah,
because you know technology, you know business, so it's easy to migrate in that
yeah,
front.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's also a really important point. You should also know about the business. You know about your prospective customers. So वो बहुत important रहता है product owner role के लिए. And that's why sometimes it is become, kind of, a person has to wear a lot of hats, yeah, uh, because he has to also talk to the team, the development, in technical terms sometime, and they have to talk to the customer also in completely non-technical way. So it is based on the context, yeah, and they have to wear a lot of hats. But good thing is that anybody can become, just that they need to know good, they need to have good solid foundation of the domain, and they can be a product owner.
Okay, that's interesting. So my next question to you is, so ये बहुत ही जनरल क्वेश्चन है, ये बहुत लोग इस चीज की बात करते हैं. What, and this would give the perspective कि अभी current trends क्या चल रहा है. तो if you can tell us, because you have seen lot of transitions in your career, you have seen lot of technologies in your career. अभी current trends क्या है industry में, in general. I'm talking, you are belonging in some particular industry, but in general industry में technology wise क्या trends चल रहे हैं अभी.
Yeah. So there are. This is a very very broad question. अगर आप इसको देखो, general and industry specific, this is a very broad question, but I'll still try to answer it. Uh, First thing is, I guess it's on everybody's mind is AI, yeah, or different forms of AI like machine learning or generative, AI
LLM
or
and all.
whatever. But let's say, yeah, AI, that's the first one, yeah, it's at everybody's mind after the popularity of ChatGPT, yeah. I think that's on everybody's mind. Second is low code, like the platforms which basically allows even non
Okay,
code
थोड़ा सा
developers to develop
ये
application.
if you can just tell us in a layman terms, right? Because I know low code, you know low code, but most of the people
Yeah,
doesn't know, right? So if you can just
yeah,
give a perspective कि low code होता क्या है.
yeah, yeah. So basically, low or no code is uh, uh, or solution or offering which allows basically people who don't know the core of the technology, or they are not programmers, to develop applications. Yeah,
Hmm.
applications, proof of concepts, technology demonstrators. Yeah, so basically these tools are generally drag and drop tools. Yeah, where
Right.
plug in, drop things, connect things with already developed components, and you build application, you deploy it, and that's it. You just need to know about your logic, yeah, or business, business logic of your application, and you can develop, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's fair enough.
a
I think
fully working
it
application.
will give you
Yeah.
the. So as you explained that AI, ML, no code, low code, these are the current trends, which is, and obviously there are others. Uh, in infrastructure, there are a lot of things are going on. Things like you works on a cutting edge technologies, which is totally in a smart infrastructures capability, which you are providing. Right. So I'll talk about the edge computing because I think this technology very rarely people heard about. I mean, who works only they know the edge computing. But if you can just tell us, not now, I'll talk to you that as well. But my next question to you is, which is very common questions, and it's majorly been created buzz around that, right? So is AI ML are hyped, or it has some value proposition in it? So I know I works on AI ML, so I can give my perspective. But if you can just tell us, in your opinion, because there are a lot of talks after the Chat GPT started. Uh, uh, because every time when we talk any new technology, so Chat GPT is something which everyone knows now, because that's how it has market. So what your opinion is, AI ML is hyped, or is there any value proposition in it?
Yeah, so that's so there is some perspective to it. Yes, in one way, this is, I will say that it is, there is real benefit, yeah, behind usage of artificial intelligence, yeah, and in some places I'll say that it is hyped, yeah. So I'll also let you know the reason where I see it is hyped, yeah. But I think it was, yeah, I think Nvidia's CEO, yeah, has told that this is an iPhone moment, yeah, for artificial intelligence when the Chat GPT came, and
Hmm.
there is a good analogy he used here, because there were mobile phones, yeah, before iPhone, yeah. It was not a new thing, it was very late to the party, yeah. If you see it from 99 90 smartphones, just say, you could find palm phones, yeah, smartphones, even in late 90s also, yeah, very
Hmm.
late to the party in 2008 2009, yeah. But then when the user used it, yeah, they had a completely different experience, and that's for the history was written. Yeah, since then you have imagined the smartphone in a completely different way, with the apps, app store, uh, yeah, different technologies, and same is said for Chat GPT. And the reason is that how many users uses this, do they really find benefit out of it? Yeah, I don't know what was the benefit at the start for the mobile phone users, but ChatGPT, you can see that user can find some benefit for them for some things, yeah, maybe legitimate or legitimate reasons, but they can try it out and really see something meaningful coming out of it. So, and this is a very general use case of, we
Hmm.
were also using, AI in the past also, yeah. Yeah, there were yeah, things where we could have seen some flavor of, maybe not as good demonstration of, as in other case, but we might have used it here and there, yeah, in some flavors. But I think the future is AI. Yeah, there is no doubt in my mind. Yeah, everywhere we will use it. Yeah, uh, everywhere means I really don't see any place where we cannot use it. For example, you see Tesla cars. Yeah, self-driving. What was it? Yeah, most of these things were, yeah, AI. So AI was there in the public domain well before ChatGPT came. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. the car was not driving on their own. There is something behind that. So and you can see the use case. The car use case was already there. Then we are going in a general, where it becomes like expert assistant to you. And now we are seeing co-pilot, and now we can see the usage of the same generative AI in now with the Microsoft Copilot, with all the Microsoft tools, yeah, which are offered as part of Office. Google Bard is also launched. Yeah, I think it's still limited in some limited countries, but I hope that it is also there. But on some review sites, I've read the comparison between the Bing and the Google Bard results where it is available. So it's quite close. So abhi to this is just started, yeah. There are other companies which says that they will also release their generative, AI based, chat assistants or whatever. So this is just a start. One more example I give you of AI, it will be in the air mobility or air transport, yeah, where we are talking about autonomous, air taxis. We think that it is little bit far, but actually it is not that far. Yeah, we are much closer than we assume, and this is going to become reality before end of this decade. Yeah, that we have autonomous vehicle flying in the sky. Yeah, with the power of AI, yeah, and battery technology.
Yeah, so I have a same perspective. मेरे ओपिनियन में कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी, सो आई वाज जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू योर कमेंट
Yeah,
इन लिंक्डइन समवेयर एंड यू हैव मेंशन दैट कि किसी भी टेक्नोलॉजी का अगर इम्पैक्ट कस्टमर तक नहीं आ रहा तो दैट कस्टमर दैट टेक्नोलॉजी इज नॉट अ ग्रेट टेक्नोलॉजी. तो चैट जीपीटी के केस में ही अगर देखा जाए तो yes, there are a lot of use cases, but the way it been it has been marketed to the world, right? I think still we are figuring out ki what are the use cases we can capture. I mean, obviously you can play around with the images, you can create a fancy images, AI images, but does it really solving business use cases, or does it really solving any social use cases? No, right? It's just for the fun. So yes, there are a lot of use cases. अभी हमारे भी कंपनी में hackathon हुआ था, and most of the people has participated because the theme was AI, right? So there are a lot of use cases came out from the chat GPT, right? And now those use cases is going to be productized, right? So we are going with that. बट मेरा हैकेथॉन का जो टॉपिक था वो अनस्ट्रक्चर प्रोफाइलिंग पे था. सो सो दैट इज अगेन डेटा इंजीनियरिंग इज अगेन देयर अ ब्रॉड एरिया, राइट? तो अनस्ट्रक्चर प्रोफाइलिंग में भी हमने एआई डाला था, बट नॉट चैट जीपीटी और नॉट सॉर्ट ऑफ एनी अदर एलएलएम, राइट? बट या आई विल डिस्कस सम डे लेटर फॉर दैट. बट मेरा ऑलवेज ओपिनियन यही रहा है कि कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी, इफ इट इज सर्विंग यू इन और ए कस्टमर, राइट? बिकॉज कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी बेचने के लिए ही खरीदे. अगर तुमने सुना है वॉटसन के बारे में, पहले आईबीएम वॉटसन ने भी एक तो अपना ग्राफ नॉलेज ग्राफ निकाला था, जो कि बोला जा रहा था उस टाइम पे कि इट विल रेवोल्यूशन ला देगा मेडिकल इंडस्ट्री में, बिकॉज यू कैन क्वेश्चन एनी you can question any sort of answer,
yeah,
right? It will give you a right answer. But क्या हुआ आज के डेट में IBM Watson, that is again वो भी एक AI इंजन ही था, right? आज की स्थिति है कि वो बिकने के कगार पे IBM Watson. तो आई थिंक किसी
yeah,
ने IBM ने बेच भी दिया उसको किसी को. तो एंड देन इफ यू रिमेम्बर फेसबुक ने एक निकाला था ग्राफ सर्च, राइट? वो भी सिक्योरिटी रीजन से. दिस आई थिंक आई हैव मेंशन इन वन ऑफ माय वीडियो वेयर आई हैव मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट कि गूगल खत्म हो जाएगा चैट जीपीटी. ऐसा है नहीं. आई मीन सारी बिग, जितनी भी बिग कंपनियां हैं, फैंग कंपनियां, सबके पास अपना खुद का एलएलएम मॉडल है. जस्ट दैट कि चैट जीपीटी ने उसको पब्लिक कर दिया टू जस्ट टू शोकेस, और माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की $10 बिलियन की फंडिंग आ गई थी, और इस वजह से उसका मार्केट इतना ज्यादा हाइप हो गया है कि लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट, राइट? बट ऐसा नहीं था कि
Yeah,
एलएलएम था, नहीं एग्जिस्ट करता था।
yeah,
इफ यू टॉक अबाउट यान यान जो सीएनएन के फादर कहे जाते हैं, उन्होंने भी बोला फेसबुक में, वो एआई एआई का स्ट्रेटेजिस्ट है। तो आई थिंक ही इज द मेन गाय ऑन द एआई साइड फॉर द फेसबुक। उसने भी बोला कि फेसबुक के पास भी एलएलएम है। तो ऐसा नहीं है
yeah.
कि है नहीं, वही है कि
That's where,
हाई।
yeah, that's what where the things, change a little bit. कि how you हमेशा तो first mover advantage हमें it does not always materialize. As I said,
राइट।
Google was not the first search engine. Yeah, iPhone was not the first smartphone. Yeah, it's also about what kind of experience you give to your customer, what problem you are really solving. So this is just the start of the race. Yeah, just that कि अभी हम लोग बहुत आगे आ गए हैं, how the communication happens, how information is shared, how you can distribute your application.
करेक्ट।
Yeah, that's why you can see that in a month ChatGPT reached out to 100 million users. Yeah,
विद
because
इन
time
फाइव
has
डेज आई
also
गेस,
changed. Yeah,
5 days
but
और
because
1 week।
time has also changed. Yeah, time
करेक्ट
has
करेक्ट।
changed. Now everybody, information spreads like from one end of the globe to other end in minutes. Yeah, so that is also one reason behind it. The only place I see the hype is actually the where the people are saying that
रिप्लेसिंग अ
yeah,
जॉब्स और ये बहुत सारी
replacing the
बातें।
job of software, or software developer, or for other people, yeah, accountants, yeah,
हाँ,
or
कि उनकी जॉब
people in
चली जाएगी।
HR, और उनका
ऐसा लग रहा है फियर
that's
मॉन्गरिंग चल रही है, मतलब चैट
yes,
जीपीटी को लेकर के। और अभी तक तो जाती हुई किसी की जॉब, आई मीन ऑब्वियसली देयर आर ले ऑफ हैपेंस, बट
yeah.
फॉर सम अदर रीजन, राइट? नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ द चैट जीपीटी और समथिंग।
It's always like this, yeah. जब क्लाउड आया तो इट केम लाइक कि जितने भी डेटा सेंटर के लोग हैं उनका जॉब चला जाएगा,
हाँ
जितने
हाँ।
भी डेटा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर है उनका जॉब चला जाएगा। फिर उसके पहले
एडब्ल्यूएस एडब्ल्यूएस अपना लेके आया तो फिर लगा कि डेटा वेयर हाउस खत्म हो जाएगा, मतलब ऐसा
या
नहीं भाई।
एग्जैक्टली
ऑब्वियसली यू हैव टू adopt the technology, you have to go
एग्जैक्टली
with align with that. Acha, if you remember, when was the first time you heard about the cloud?
I think the first times I think were in I guess, or properly I think in 11, 12, yeah, 12 maybe, 12 or 13, when some of you I guess were started working on that one. Yeah, 2012, 13, I guess that's the first time I
No,
really heard,
उसके
and we
पहले
also
भी,
talked about,
if you remember,
we
in
have
CDAC
talked
also
about it.
we
Yeah.
had a one workshop on the
Ah,
cloud,
yes, cloud computing. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Now I
But
remember, and we
that
used
time
to have
we
talk on
don't
that
know,
one.
yeah, that we do, we were like क्या है ये बकवास चीज, लिनक्स
Exactly.
की मशीन तो दे दिया ऊपर एक।
एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली इफ यू रियली गो इन द फंडामेंटल ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, हमको यही आता है, अरे यार ये तो क्या नया किया है, बस वो चार सिस्टम्स को वो कर दिया है, कनेक्ट कर दिया है, एंड तो सो उनके भी जॉब नहीं गया। यू हैव टू ऑलवेज रीस्किल योरसेल्फ। अभी हमारा ही देख लो, 12 साल पहले जहां हमने स्टार्ट किया था, वी हैव टू every few years we have to reskill ourselves just to be
राइट।
stay relevant in the industry. That's how the software industry is. Yeah, you have to reskill yourself. तो अब ये वो एआई आ जाए या फिर वो कुछ और आ जाए, यू हैव टू रीस्किल योरसेल्फ। जब एआई नहीं था तो भी तो रीस्किल करना पड़ा था हमको, है ना? तो आई डोंट नो, बट या दैट्स द हाई पार्ट, बट आई थिंक या एआई इज
But
द फ्यूचर।
I think
या
ये समय, I mean, this is the right time to, you know, jump into the AI things and start learning.
या
लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि start learning with the chat GPT. I mean, most of the people सोचते हैं कि chat GPT आ गया तो हमें AI आ गया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। वो तो application है, उसके
या
अंदर का जो बिहाइंड द सीन जो है वो बेसिकली एआई है, तो उसको समझना ज्यादा जरूरी है। सो बेसिक फर्स्ट यू हैव टू, सो मैंने एक अपना इसी अपने ही चैनल में एमएल के भी कोर्स स्टार्ट किए हैं, मतलब फ्री है, बनाया, किसी से पैसा थोड़ी लिया जा रहा। तो वीडियो, यूट्यूब वीडियो है, वो सीरीज में आएगा, एनीवन कैन गो गो एंड वॉच एंड लर्न। इसी तरीके, आई
दैट्स
मीन मैं अपनी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ यूट्यूब चैनल्स में जो कि इस टाइप से, पता नहीं क्यों लोग पैसे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, मतलब पैसे स्पेंड करते हैं अननेसेसरी कोर्स बाई आउट करने के लिए. आई मीन फर्स्ट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड rather than jumping to the any course, right?
Yeah.
My suggestion is to just understand the technology first, whether this technology is meant for you or not. I mean, just absorb the technology. Once you have absorbed the technology, then you will get to know how we can progress. Then if you like to go with any course, sort of course, then go. Because free में मटेरियल, हम लोग के टाइम पे तो इंटरनेट ही नहीं हुआ करता था, कि इतने इंफॉर्मेशन ही अवेलेबल नहीं थे. आज के टाइम में तो इंफॉर्मेशन इतना इजीली अवेलेबल है कि आपको कोर्स तो छोड़ो, जो अभी 5-5 लाख 6-6 लाख के एआई के जो आजकल मार्केट मार्केट में कोर्सेज चल रहे हैं, क्यों स्पेंड करना भाई इतना पैसा खर्च करना उस पे. और एआई एआई कोर्स अपने से पढ़ लो, बहुत सारी फ्री मटेरियल्स पड़े हैं.
knowledge has, you know, नॉलेज डिमोक्रेटाइज हो गया है. या पहले बहुत डिफिकल्ट था, यू ऑलवेज गो अगेंस्ट अ पे वॉल, कि आपको मेंबरशिप लेना पड़ेगा, सब्सक्रिप्शन लेना पड़ेगा,
राइट.
कोर्स लेना पड़ेगा. दैट्स वर इंटरनेट पे था कंटेंट, बट हमको हर चीज के लिए पे करना पड़ रहा था. एंड दिस थिंग हैज चेंज नाउ. लाइक if you don't want to spend money, in YouTube itself you will find, you know, hundreds of videos. Some are really good videos, some are free videos from Harvard, from MIT. Yeah.
राइट. राइट.
तो इफ यू वांट, अगेन आपके ऑडियंस के लिए,
मुझे
अगर
मुझे
वो
लगता है
खरीदना
ना कि
चाहते हैं.
एक 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 जो सेलिंग पॉइंट है कोर्सेज का, वो है कि वो कहते हैं कि एंड ऑफ द कोर्स वी विल प्रोवाइड यू द प्लेसमेंट. आई थिंक
या
दैट्स द ओनली सेलिंग पॉइंट विच दे आर सेलिंग. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट कोर्स तो यार जो वो पढ़ाते हैं वो तो तुम्हारा फ्रीली अवेलेबल है सब जगह. बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सो मेरा यही एक नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि डू यू थिंक फॉर्मल एजुकेशन इंडिया में, हम आईटी इंडस्ट्री में रहने के लिए फॉर्मल एजुकेशन अभी जरूरी है? आई मीन इट्स योर ओपिनियन, राइट? आई मीन तुम बोल सकते हो अपने ओपिनियन के हिसाब से कि फॉर्मल एजुकेशन स्टिल नीडेड, और एनीवन कैन गो विदाउट फॉर्मल एजुकेशन एंड लर्न थिंग्स which is
सो
publicly available.
so IT या non IT, I think formal education is necessary because it teaches you a lot of things, not just about study but about, you know, working in your environment. Yeah. With the environment. Yeah. Surrounding, you know, how to make network, how to, you know, work with other people. So formal education is required, but is the formal education the only way you have to learn? नहीं, ये तो मैं नहीं बोलूंगा. I know a lot of people who are not, you know, being part of the formal education, but they know things much better than people who are from formal education. But in general, for on average, for people, I'll suggest that कि formal education लेना जरूरी है. Yeah. And you take it, and you take it as a great, you know, learning experience. Whatever you learn there, yeah, will remain with you for life. Yeah. Not just study, apart from study also, like uh, मतलब हॉस्टल में रहना, है ना, दैट हॉस्टल, यू नो, लाइफ. या
हाँ,
नॉट एबल
दैट्स
टू
अ
ईट
डिफरेंट
प्रॉपर.
एक्सपीरियंस. जैसे आज
या दैट्स
आजकल
इट
तो लोग
कंप्लीटली.
पैसे देते हैं एक्सपीरियंस के लिए. तो
एग्जैक्टली.
अगर देखा जाए
एग्जैक्टली.
तो
एग्जैक्टली.
यू आर गोइंग, यू आर
एग्जैक्टली.
टेकिंग अ फॉर्मल एजुकेशन जस्ट फॉर द एक्सपीरियंस, राइट? जस्ट
यस.
लिव द लाइफ, लिव दैट लाइफ
एग्जैक्टली.
एज वेल.
Exactly. And it makes a good network. Yeah. Good network
हाँ.
of people. Yeah. You know a lot of people. Yeah. But it is not, you know, prerequisite to have success in life. You can go with, you know, informal education also. Circumstances depend करता है. Yeah. Some people are can feel that, yeah, they don't really require nothing, this formal education not adding anything, any value to their life. They can continue, yeah, with the informal education also.
My next question is, it's again a very personal question, in terms of career wise. So if I say you have to go 10 years or 12 years back from where you have started everything, with the same perspective, right? So considering you have the same knowledge which is currently you have right now, and if you take this knowledge 10 years back, तो अगर मैं बोलूं कि अगर तब तुम्हें स्टार्ट करना है, समथिंग यू वांट टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच, right? तो तुम, if you can just tell us what would be your approach and on which area you will go. or the same area which you are currently, you will be stick, or something else you will do? If I'll
uh,
send you 10 years back time machine से.
yeah. So in terms of area, मेरे कुछ मतलब ऐसा वो नहीं है कि मेरे को इसी एरिया में, एरिया मतलब कि my domain, I will not say that it is fixed. I could have stayed in that one. I could have chose something else. One thing think I miss is that, or which most of the people miss it, yeah, in their life, who are starting as a, software developer, software engineer, software programmer, yeah, heavy on the tech side, is not having enough knowledge about the product, who they are serving, what is the market they are targeting. That is something, if I would have known earlier, yeah, then things would have been different, yeah. But I will not change anything related with my technology, yeah. Journey, I would have stayed completely like that, with more knowledge on product and the customer. But technology, you should know, yeah, you should know, if not everything, but yeah, at least how things work, yeah, fundamentally how things are. Then you have a better understanding of, the whole system, yeah, and then you can really develop, a product or a service. But एक ही चीज मैं ऐड करूंगा कि मैंने शायद थोड़ा सा और ध्यान दिया होता उस टाइम पे प्रोडक्टाइजेशन और इसका, बिकॉज वी न्यू एट दैट टाइम लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स ऑलरेडी, कि दिस इज गोइंग टू मेक मनी, या इन फ्यूचर इफ वी कैन डू दिस इज गोइंग टू मेक मनी, और दिस
Yeah.
इज गोइंग टू मेक मनी.
आई थिंक
बट
हम
हम
लोग
लोग,
शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स पे ज्यादा फोकस थे rather
यस,
than having a long. आई उस टाइम में भी उतना ज्यादा नॉलेज का लैक था इस वजह से, और चीजें अवेलेबल भी नहीं थे. जैसे मैंने कहा कि इंटरनेट जिस वे में इंफॉर्मेशन अभी अवेलेबल है, उस वे में इंफॉर्मेशन उस टाइम नहीं था. लेकिन फिर भी अगर हमें पाथ चूज करना पड़े तो हम यही पाथ चूज करेंगे, बिकॉज बिकॉज वी लिव दिस लाइफ, राइट. सो हमें पता है कि इसका पोटेंशियल कितना है. तो ये क्वेश्चन बेसिकली कोई भी नया बंदा इससे रिलेट ऐसे कर सकता है कि so let's say you starting now, right? So the way which the way the technology is changing, if you started changing parallelly with the technologies, तो वो easy रहेगा adoption में, and then you will grow much faster than. और सबसे बड़ी बात जो हमने उस टाइम ने सीखी थी, अब सीखी है, like you said, right, the product knowledge. Obviously, I mean, wherever you work, you should have a product knowledge, but what product is serving, right, the purpose of that product and the customer who is buying that, ये दो चीजें जरूरी है जानना किसी भी प्रोडक्ट, किसी भी बंदे को जो अपना करियर टेक्नोलॉजी स्पेस में स्टार्ट कर रहा है. तो ये दो चीज अगर अर्ली स्टेज से आपको पता है, तो आई थिंक इन द 10 years यू विल क्रिएट अ स्टार्टअप, और मतलब अच्छा ही करोगे. आई मीन देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स यू कैन डू, बट at least that understanding would will give you the immense growth. और आई थिंक मुझे
good
ऐसा
point.
लगता है कि जो आज का करंट यूथ है, जो अभी फ्रेशर निकलते हैं, दे आर मच स्मार्टर as compared to the us also,
Exactly.
we can say us also. They are much
Yeah.
smarter, they are well aware of the technologies कि क्या ट्रेंड चल रहा है. मुझे याद है हम लोग के टू सेकेंड थर्ड ईयर में एआई का ओपन इलेक्टिव्स में होता था, मतलब यू कैन ऑप्ट दैट कोर्स. बट उस टाइम कोई टीचर्स नहीं होते थे, क्योंकि किसी को उसके बारे में पता नहीं है. 2008 की बात बता रहे हैं, जब थर्ड ईयर नहीं, सेकेंड ईयर 2009 की बात बता रहा हूँ. तो उस टाइम एआई का इतना, और ऑब्वियसली इंडस्ट्री में तो किसी को कुछ पता नहीं था. कॉलेज में दिक्कत यही होता है, कॉलेज इंडस्ट्री से अलाइंड होता ही नहीं है. द knowledge which
Exactly.
we are getting in the college is totally different as compared to the industry knowledge, right? तो अगर एजुकेशन सिस्टम में कुछ एड ऑन करना है तो ये चीज करना है. ऑब्वियसली एआई का इतना हाइप हो गया है कि लोग सेल्फ अवेयर हो गए हैं, इस वजह से लोग उस चीज को अभी करने लगे हैं, और इन्फॉर्मेशन इतना इजीली अवेलेबल है. तो या आई थिंक न्यू कमर्स के लिए तो ये ज्यादा जरूरी है कि you know the products किसको सर्व कर रहे हो, what product is serving and who's the customer for that product.
the one point you made ki you have to always adapt yourself. Yeah, I think that is the most important point. आप एक जगह पे नहीं रुक सकते. If you are developing front end, yeah, you cannot say that yeah मैं front end पे रहूंगा या फिर मैं एक framework पे stick रहूंगा, because I've seen in in my experience there are some people उनको आप कुछ बोलो कि यार ओके लेट्स ट्राई समथिंग, या जैसे नहीं मेरे स्किल सेट है एंगुलर में, आई विल
हाँ
स्टे ऑन एंगुलर, आई विल नॉट ट्राई समथिंग एल्स, या that is just in the same skill set. Some says that okay I am a backend engineer, abhi main ye nahi karunga. Yeah, so you have to adapt yourself, and good that now we have come into a paradigm where everything is expected from you. Yeah, like full stack developer, everything is expected from you. Yeah, that you should be able to do it. That gives you a really good understanding कि आपको क्या करना है टू अचीव या द गोल. आप अब इस उस पे नहीं बैठ सकते कि यार मैंने बैकएंड में अपना काम कर दिया, अब ये फ्रंट एंड वाला संभाले, उसको क्या करना है. या फ्रंट एंड वाले को फर्क नहीं पड़ता बैकएंड ने क्या किया है, जस्ट दैट उसको है ना डेटा मिल गया बस उससे. So that is the one very important point you said, yeah, which I think everybody should think about it कि उनको किस तरह का नॉलेज देना चाहिए और किस तरह से उनको अडाप्ट करना है. बिकॉज इफ यू वांट टू मेक योर करियर इन सॉफ्टवेयर और आईटी फील्ड, आपको अडॉप्ट करना आना चाहिए. अगर आपको अडॉप्ट करना नहीं आता है तो इट विल बी रियली डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू मूव. और सेकंड है, आपने जो दूसरा पॉइंट ऑब्जर्वेशन दिया कि हमारा जो वो है, हमारी जो कॉलेजेस है और जो इंडस्ट्री है, दे आर completely apart. And that's very well true. हमारे टाइम पे भी यही था कि दे आर फुल्ली अपार्ट. या और आज तो आई गेस खाई और ही बड़ी होगी. सो दैट इज समथिंग, या I don't know, it requires structural changes, but for the youth who are in colleges studying right now, आप already start looking, outside and seeing the trend and start preparing yourself. Yeah? Because आपका college का knowledge, I don't think you can survive with that in the world right now.
Okay. So I was just going through your LinkedIn profile, and you mentioned in your description, I enjoy product ownerships. I think when you're writing this, I enjoy product ownership. You are meant that for that, right? So the sentence means lot to you, right? Because you said you are also handling a customer engagement, stakeholders management, risk mitigations. So these terms sometimes, if people read this, right, who cannot relate, this is like a jargon words for them, right? But someone who relates that, right, like you meant for that. तो ये आपके लिए ऐसा है कि अगर इस टाइप की चीजें कर रहे हो तो विच इज गिव्स यू द इमेंस प्लेजर, राइट? रिस्क मिटिगेशन, तो आप किसी कंपनी को रिस्क मिटिगेट करा रहे हो ताकि वो किसी डाउनफॉल में ना जाए. तो ये बहुत बड़ा चांस होता है. तो अगर तुम थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में बताओगे कि बेसिकली कैसे आप किसी, जैसे एज अ प्रोडक्ट ओनर, या आपका रियल वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन क्या होना चाहिए कंपनी के लिए, या फिर नॉट कंपनी, बिकॉज प्रोडक्ट ओनर इज अ रोल. तो वो रोल तो तुम अपनी लाइफ में भी यूज कर सकते हो उस चीज को, राइट? रिस्क मिटिगेशन
So
इज नॉट ओनली फॉर द प्रोडक्ट, रिस्क मिटिगेशन इज फॉर
yes,
योर लाइफ ऑल्सो, राइट?
exactly. So मतलब just from this role or what I've written, so product owner can mean many things. Yeah, because uh, एक very burning there is very burning thing in software world is called agile software development. Yeah, और वो it's like a how should I say, a dumpster fire. Yeah, because there is something what it means really. Yeah, and then there are a lot of interpretation out of it. It's like a holy book कि एक holy book लिखा हुआ है, and there are hundreds of interpretation of it. Yeah, and everybody says that yeah this is how what it means, this is how what it means. Yeah, so uh, just to give a background, so all the projects, yeah, which or product development which follows agile software development methodologies, yeah, they have this role called as product owner, yeah. So इसका fundamental reason क्या था इस role को बनाने के लिए? So it is coming from the prescription of Scrum framework, yeah, कि क्या मतलब होता है product owner का? So they wanted to make somebody who is answerable or who is basically owner of the whole product, yeah. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि he is the one who is doing everything, but he is answerable for everything. He is the one who will take the last decision. You know, the buck stop with that person. Yeah. But फिर जैसे जैसे और framework बनते गए, ये role dilute होता गया. Yeah, फिर product owner, then there is, you know, product manager again, you know, somehow project management, you know, reappeared. Yeah. And तो उसका ये ना dilute होता गया. But when I'm telling about product owner, I'm telling from the essence of why the first time product owner word came in the mind, that is the person who will take the last decision, yeah, who has to make sure कि अगर एक product है तो उसका profit and loss, yeah, has to be managed by that person, yeah. So that means that everything, yeah, it's like a it's the project, or this product development is like a small project, and product owner is like a, you know, the decision maker, like a CEO of, you know, of that product, and that person is making the decision. So profit and loss, investment, everything comes into, you know, the responsibility of the product owner, and there are different roles here. So CEO है एक, उसमें है scrum master रहता है, who has, you know, process. So one is talking about, you know, कि क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, क्या priorities होनी चाहिए. Other one is talking, you know, कैसे करना है, not the responsibility of it's a responsibility of other person called scrum master, कैसे करना है, how to, you know, optimize the output of the team, और उसमें भी बहुत सारी चीजें रहती हैं. तो when I wrote about product owner कि I enjoy product ownership, yes, I enjoyed in a sense that कि जब मैंने start किया था तो I did not know what it is in a full sense. I also learned it, yeah, over the time, and then I realized that कि this is the most, you know, uh, surprising place you can be in the software, you know, industry. You can basically hear anything, yeah, on any day you can hear anything, yeah, कि आपको predictability बहुत कम है यहाँ पे. You can hear that, okay, you see a perfectly running application, yeah, and you will find a customer complaining about something which you cannot imagine that, you know, this also could be an issue. But when you go and listen to that customer, you will really find out कि yeah, there was an issue with that, yeah, and that's why he was complaining, because वो ऐसे चीजें करता है. So that's why, you know, even so, let's say for example, uh, there are, to send the order, yeah, for procurement you have to do 4 clicks, yeah, and there is a wait of every, you know, in between the clicks there is a wait of 10 seconds, yeah, it is uniform, yeah. And then it goes to the next page. I mean, let's say that on the third click, he needs to see the invoice. Yeah. Or invoice can be as big as, you know, what you have, you know, selected in that one. अब हर 10 सेकंड बाद अगर ये move कर रहा है, तो he will not have time to see the invoice. Just for example, he will not be, और आपने कोई उसको back button नहीं दिया हुआ है वापस आने का. तो it will be a summary, and then just a hypothetical example.
right.
अभी
I
आपको
totally relate
अभी
that.
आपको लगेगा कि यार छोटा सा इनवॉइस है, 10 सेकंड से ज्यादा कैसे टाइम लगेगा, and then, you know, you may not be able to, but when you listen to that person and he tells you like मैंने ऐसे ऐसे किया, ये problem आ रहा है, then you understand. So it always gives you, you know, something, you know, interesting to look, and that's why I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a also position of lot of, you know, pressure, or a lot of bad things people may say to you, because especially the customer, sometimes stakeholders also. But yeah, it's fun in itself. अभी आपने मेरे से पूछा कि what is risk, you know, how, or no, you mitigate the
Risk
risk, yeah.
mitigation, yeah.
Yeah. So there are 3 things, yeah. One is that you have impediment, yeah. Impediment is something, you know, where you know that something can go wrong, yeah, and it is not yet materialized. For example, I'll give you example. Let's say in India, there is this Diwali, you know, vacation where most of the people go on vacation. Let's say, अभी आपको है ना, आप e-commerce platform चला रहे हो आप, and you have some sales also during the Diwali time, but you know that your employees also will go on vacation. So you can, have a lot of traffic at that time during Diwali time, but you do not have a lot of people if something goes wrong. So you know that it is an impediment, yeah, but it is not a risk yet because it is not yet realized. Because you have a time, you can say that मैं कुछ contractor ले आऊंगा या मैं मेक श्योर करूंगा कि 3/4 मेरा स्टाफ रहे और 25% मेरा स्टाफ छुट्टी पर जाए या आई विल डू समथिंग लाइक दैट आई डिवाइड माय सेल इन टू पार्ट्स 7 weeks 7 days before Diwali and 7 days after Diwali, something like that. So then I have basically what I did here is I have mitigated the risk. I have put some measures to mitigate the risk. Yeah. So impediment, and then comes the risk, and then you come with the mitigation measures, like how I can avoid or how I can bypass the risk. Yeah. So you have to do it always because you are running. In most cases, you are running a software or a service, and you are getting your customer is paying for that one. So you have some service level agreements like on availability, on performance and all, and you have to make sure things are working. So you have to prepare your risk. Yeah. And everybody does that one, like even in your company, any company, everybody work on the risk. Yeah, because nobody wants to have a day one launch, and then they see that the website is not opening. Yeah. Or things are not working. But it can happen, it can always happen, whatever risk mitigation measures you put. World is a funny place, and these things always happens. Yeah, Google also faces a lot of this, Apple faces a lot of these things. So you can prepare as good as a plan, but yeah, world has its own plans. Yeah, in most cases.
All right. So my next question is to you, and again, this is very general question, and which is I feel personally feel this is very important question. Why India does not really have more SaaS product and R&D sector? I have seen R&D sector in some certain area, but in terms of you know IT industry or anything, right? There are a lot of lack. So what do you think on that? Why India does not have a SaaS product? And
Yeah, generally you need a lot of investment. Yeah, R&D में आपको बहुत ज़्यादा investment करना पड़ता है, and when you do investment, it does not also comes with guarantee of return. Yeah. In most cases, if you see whatever the R&D in India is right now, it's actually the incubation center of the companies in the West. Yeah. All the companies, which is, the big companies, they have, centers in India, captive centers, and there they are running R&D projects. Yeah. But अगर आप इंडिया की बात करोगे, Indian origin companies, there are very few you can name on your hand which has got any success in SaaS or developing any bestseller software, yeah, as such. So the Zoho is the only one, yeah, which comes to name. There are others, yeah, with very limited success like Tele and all, yeah, but that's where it ends. Yeah. So I think one of the reason is that they are not spending money, and when you don't spend money, you do not get the right talent, and if you do not get the right talent, you will not be able to develop something like this. ये development वाला part है. And also they do not, like lack of vision, yeah, or lack of capturing the, when you talk about the companies in Silicon Valley or in US, they, for them market is not only US, market is the whole world. Yeah. Whatever they're building is for the whole world. इंडिया में इस तरीके का विजन नहीं है. Like, name any, apart from Zoho, which I think has the global footprint. Yeah, there is no other product business has who has gone, that. So the lack of vision, the lack of spending, and lack of right talent, I see, is the reason behind, yeah, lack of software and SaaS services coming out of India.
yeah, investment is yes. I think most of the people who investing in there are a lot of startups right in India, but majorly on the B2C side. They don't deal with the B2B and all, right? Because उनको क्या है कि हम पैसे डालें और कंज्यूमर से हमें मिलता रहे. मतलब वो always they look for the shorter goal. They don't want to invest you which can be potentially grow after 5 years or 10 years, right? Because SaaS product को market करने में ही बहुत time लगता है, and there is a different channel altogether, right? तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है यस इन्वेस्टिंग, बट एक और माइंडसेट का भी है, इन्वेस्टमेंट के माइंडसेट का, कि वो जल्दी से अपने पैसे बनाने के चक्कर में रहते हैं. अभी नाउ डेज आपने अगर देखा है तो B2C के ही प्रोडक्ट्स ज्यादातर लॉन्च होते हैं. अभी आईपीएल चल रहा है, तो आईपीएल के टाइम पे बहुत सारे ये गेमिफिकेशंस, या फिर जो कि नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, बहुत सारे ऐप स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं जो कि एक तरह का प्रमोट करते हैं गैम्बलिंग को. दो दिस इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ गैम्बलिंग, क्योंकि इसको बोला जाता है कि इसमें ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंट लगता है सिलेक्शन करने में,
Yeah,
टीम्स को प्लेयर
yeah,
सेलेक्ट करने में,
exactly.
तो इसमें इसको गेम में उसमें नहीं डालते. I mean, there are a lot of loopholes, but still, I believe B2C को बहुत सारा स्पेस दिया गया है इंडिया में, and now if if India really wants to grow in terms of IT sector, right? We are doing a lot of good things in IT sector, but that is again resource oriented, right? TCS है, Infosys है, ये सारे कंपनियां, इनका कोई R&D बेस तो होता नहीं है. ये जनरली आउटसोर्स कर देती हैं ह्यूमन रिसोर्स को, जो कि स्किल्ड रिसोर्स है, उनके हिसाब से स्किल्ड है, बट मार्केट में स्टिल दे आर डूइंग लॉट ऑफ ओल्डर वर्क, राइट? So yes, I believe there are a lot of lack in India, and I think somebody has to disrupt this, right? I had a lot of good use cases, but again, इंडिया में एक और चैलेंज बहुत बड़ा है कि डिपेंडेंसी, जो फैमिली डिपेंडेंसी होती है, वो एक एक वन ऑफ द रीजन होता है जो जल्दी रिस्क लेने के लिए एपिटाइट नहीं बनाता है. बाहर की कंट्री में इतना रिस्क ओरिएंटेड क्यों होते हैं? क्योंकि दे डोंट हैव यू नो बैगेज की तुम्हें अपना बहुत सारा टेक केयर करना है. नेसेसरी चीजें सारी अवेलेबल होती हैं. And that is the one of the things, I major things which I feel ki people very rare take a risk, and who someone take a risk, there are chances they can lead the market. But
Yeah, yeah. And in case of B2B, there is always a risk because you get returns, yeah, after some time. So, yeah, even though people have vision, nobody is there to back them. So, yeah,
uh,
overall, yeah,
so do
it's
you
a
think
really, really.
this will sustain as it is, or do you feel there are time will come when the sector will also would have a larger impact like we did for the B2C space? I mean, there are a lot of company in the B2C, right? Yeah.
Yes, I hope so that this really happens. Yeah. But I'm not sure whether it will happen, yeah, so fast. Yeah. It is again coming to the point, like अभी हम लोग उस जगह पर आ गए हैं कि अभी B2C को भी I think फंडिंग मिलने में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
think about new age companies. I think they are not developed, from the point of view of patience and really building a sustainable business. Yeah. When you see, I think Zoho and Salesforce, yes, basically started not that far apart. Yeah, if you see, yeah, in their current avatars, yeah, Salesforce and Zoho, and apart from that, they wanted to, go in this SaaS area. They also wanted to build a sustainable business. Yeah, building things one by one. सेल्सफोर्स नहीं आया था कि ओके मैं डे वन पे कि मैं 400 और 400 सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करूंगा. So sometimes it takes time to build things, yeah, and that is also, I think, people here wants really quick money, really quick, returns, and that I think is really difficult, yeah, because in B2B business, people go with a reliable partner, yeah, जिसका कुछ track record हो, and to build a track record, you need to be in the business for some time,
Right.
and that's why, yeah, that's why it's a little bit, and unfortunately, the people who have the money who can sustain this they are not interested in spending money like, big groups in India. They are not ready, not ready to spend money. Yeah. So that's another problem. Yeah.
Okay. So, what would be your suggestion? So, now we are reaching to our end of the session, right? So, what would be your suggestion to the newcomers who just started, how they can do their progression in any field, right? So, there could be a multiple area you can work, right? So, what you suggest to them, how they can progress in their career?
Yeah. That is a general. First, I'd like to answer for the general, like कोई भी जो मतलब अभी करियर के लिए वो कर रहा है, irrespective of कौन सी फील्ड से आ रहा है, फर्स्ट थिंग दे हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज कि टेक्नोलॉजी यहाँ पर है उनके मतलब है ना उनके आउटपुट को इंक्रीज करने के लिए, उनके ना आउटपुट को इफेक्टिव बनाने के लिए, whatever they are doing on their own physically, with machine they can do maybe 10x better than that. Yeah. So don't think that technology is basically against you. You should make sure that technology works with you and not you are working against the technology. This is for general, for broader, you know and whether it is medicals, whether it is commercial, whether it is law, or it is general studies, or it is mathematics, science, you can always find usage of technology for better understanding of things of their domain itself. Yeah. So study about technology, yeah, irrespective of whatever, and see what you can use, yeah, to make your study better, or your area of interest, or you prepare for your area of interest better. For just for the technology guys, yeah, or the people who are doing engineering, or in technology, or in master computer application, or BSc computer science and all, prepare yourself, yeah, to be technology or टूल्स एग्नोस्टिक, नॉट टेक्नोलॉजी एग्नोस्टिक बट टूल्स एग्नोस्टिक। कि आपने कोई लैंग्वेज सीखा तो कि मैं अपना पूरा करियर इस पे बिल्ड करूंगा, या आपने कोई फ्रेमवर्क सीखा तो मैं करियर उस पे बिल्ड करूंगा, या कम आउट ऑफ दैट माइंडसेट, मेक योरसेल्फ टूल एग्नोस्टिक। यू विल लर्न द फंडामेंटल थिंग, एंड यू प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ कि आप बहुत जल्दी अडाप्ट कर सको कोई भी नई चीज को। या एंड इफ यू हैव विद दैट माइंडसेट यू कम, या देन यू हैव अ रियली गुड चांस ऑफ ग्रोइंग। Plus with that, study really hard about what is artificial intelligence. Yeah, that's what what is data. First, what is data? You understand data kya hai, how you can structureize the data, how you can deal with unstructured data. And then second thing, AI, irrespective of कोई भी engineering कर रहे हो आप दो चीज जरूर पढ़ के आना, data और what is the how artificial intelligence work. And that is a minimum. Yeah, if you prepare yourself like that, you have, yeah, many ways to progress in this industry.
I think you
Yeah.
you answered very well about the data, because I was thinking about asking you one question on that. So how you see data is being used in changing the world, right? So as you mentioned, yeah, data is everything, right?
If
So yeah, if you can just give us out some answer
so
on that.
with data you make, yeah, so with data you make informed decisions. Yeah, for example, I'll give you example. The pandemic aaya, yeah, so there were a lot of countries which was paying, like take example of US, they were giving some monetary assistance, yeah, to the people, affected people. But not everybody, all of them needed that monetary, support. So I guess they were paying like $600 or something like that. So they have to make, they paid to everybody. But उसमें कुछ लोग ऐसे भी थे, they were earning like 500,000, 1 million, and there were some of my friends also. They did not needed that money. So उनके पास पैसा आया, they invested in the stock. Just क्या करेंगे पैसे का, इसमें क्या होता है? They bought some stock. Yeah. And this is the case of, because they did not have the data. They did not have the data to really find out that कि उनकी जो population है 300 million की, or some, whatever it is, around 300 million, how many of these people really needed that money.
Hmm.
तो उनको सबको करना पड़ा. So without the proper data, you cannot make good and informed decision. Kind of same thing is that in India, if you are really targeting about how you will address the situation of unemployment, which is I guess 8% in India right now. uh, how will you address it? Then you have to have the data, like which areas of the India has the extreme cases of unemployment, yeah, why there is unemployment, so you can plan better. Training, setup of industries, yeah, you can plan better, you can really target areas. Without that you can do lot of investment, but then you create just cluster of कि भाई आपके पास कुछ areas है, वहाँ पे अच्छा खासा industrialization है, and other areas are depending on agrarian economy. And this is I told in a very broader term, but if you fit it to your level, yeah, uh, आप कोई एग्जाम का प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो, yeah, you are getting marks, you might not be getting marks in all the areas, yeah, सब कुछ सब्जेक्ट में अच्छा कर रहे हो, कुछ में नहीं कर रहे होगे, उन कुछ सब्जेक्टों में भी आप कुछ पार्ट पे अच्छा कर रहे हो, कुछ में नहीं कर रहे होगे. So if you have a data, if you have good data, you can do analysis better, yeah, and then you can focus on the area you would like to improve.
So you are saying jack of all, master of none.
Uh, let's say in or 80% cases, yes, yeah, that has to be the case. Until unless you have a really interest, yeah, which is for those 20% which have some really interest and they are really going to pursue masters or PhD for the remaining. And in India, that's always the case that people are
Mhm.
PhD तो छोड़ दो आप, या masters भी they do it only for the economical reasons, like maybe job or betterment of job, not with the interest of that subject itself.
Mm.
तो अगर आपका कोई ऐसा specific interest नहीं है और ये नहीं है, तो then you go with this. For the remaining 20%, I say that yeah, you have the interest already figured out, so then you do the study as much as you can and go for the PhD, yeah, because that's the ultimate success, I guess, in their case, yeah.
Mhm. So as so well explained that, so I just trying to formalize that in my terms. So uh, you start from anything. If you're starting with the you front end developer, if you're starting with the back end developer, so you know each and every components, right? Because if you really want to grow in the IT industry, you should know each and every components. Yes, it will not come in a first day, but it's a progression, right? So that's how you have to do. So start with anything, start with the front end, start with the back end, then slowly move to the next. And the meanwhile, if you also include, like we have discussed, right, product किस लिए बना रहे हैं, and what is the customer for that product, who is the customer for that product. If you considering all these spaces and club together, right, obviously you will do much better. And yes, there is a trends for the AI, and this is the right time for the AI to jump in. Don't go and buy any sort of uh, uh, courses
Yeah.
blindly. Just there are free materials available in the internet, बहुत सारे हैं. I mean, just go and try to understand and absorb the jargons at least, right? So that whenever people are talking about that AI, right, so you can relate those words. And once you have enough understanding, and then you itself will know what is the best for you, and then you can start you know doing an experiment on that, learning on more on that. You will figure it out easily. So that's the whole mantra of this. So okay, Vinay, so the last question, and this question I generally talk to a lot of people. So last time when Himanshu came here, I also talked to him about that. This is very personal perspective. So according to you, what is success? Is success means having more money and higher social status, or success is like less worry and more peace and happiness? So if you can answer, I know this is very subjective questions to
Yeah.
matter for each and every individual. But
Yes, yes.
so you came as an expert, right? So I wanted to understand your view on that.
Yeah. I so you asked from the two perspective whether it is happiness and peace, or whether it's monetary or social status. But I think it's for some people, yes, both of them can be, yeah. But in my case, I see it in a different way. I see, sense of fulfillment. Yeah, success means a sense of fulfillment. What you have done, does it, has brought anything, any substantial, a contribution to a greater good, or to improve something or to better something. That's I see, as the point of success. How much I've consider myself self-fulfilled. Yeah. uh and it basically derives from whatever you are working on, does it contribute to something bigger? Yeah. And if it's, yeah, whether I'm supporting some non-profit or whether I'm working with my company on my daily work. Yeah. Yeah, does it helping somebody, or society in general? And that's is just, for me is success. Yeah. I would have not done anything, yeah, if I felt that my work is not contributing to something which is can be towards the greater good. Yeah. Or okay, I should not use the word greater good, but in a way that it has helped, yeah, or better the society in some way.
So
Happiness,
this,
happiness,
yeah, yeah, go ahead, go
and
ahead.
and the other point was happiness and
Peace.
peace. I will say that I've seen people who do not have happiness and peace, but they are much more feel kind of very complete. They feel that, yeah, their life is very successful. Yeah. And the other way around also, with money and with I've also seen people with money and that they feel that they are successful. Yeah.
Because why this question was important, when you start any newcomers, when they start their career, right? Sometimes few people's got higher packages. Sometimes few people's got very, moderate package, or whatever the earning they are getting. So so the primary goal was money, right? For them, I think, and most of the people primary goal was primary goal is a money. But at the same time, if you also understand, I think this will comes in a maturity, right? So I think we can talk about, because we have seen ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs in throughout our career, right? So we are in positions to give this lecture, but I think the newcomers who does not have much clarity on that, so they always tend to go with the money aspects, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
We also, when we started, we also went with that. Yeah, that money aspect, and the point you mentioned about the comparison of salary. Yeah, some people went into X company, they are might be getting more and all, but I think that's where people started differing. Yeah, some people really go into that mind that no, they have to get more and more. Yeah, to get kind of a validation. Some people in between, भाई मैं जहाँ पर हूँ मैं खुश हूँ,
mm,
I'm doing good, I'm having peaceful life. And then third one, like, okay, am I working on something which is because I've seen also people, they are just choosing a company just because they are doing good. And most of the जो आपको पार्टिसिपेशन है स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम में वाज ड्राइविंग फ्रॉम द थर्ड पॉइंट, यार कि यार मैं कुछ ऐसा बनाऊंगा जो रियली इम्पैक्ट करेगा. मनी कम्स व्हेन इट इज सक्सेसफुल, दैट मनी कम्स दैट यू रियली गेट अ गुड पे डे अगर सब कुछ सक्सेसफुल होता है. तो बट इट कम्स, या there will be a time you will join always with the money. I completely agree with that. But somewhere people, these three brackets or four or five, whatever it is, they start falling in that one. Depends on उनका खुद का क्या aspiration है.
और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आईटी इंडस्ट्री एक ऐसी इंडस्ट्री है जहाँ पे आपके टैलेंट का आपको मिलता है, ठीक है? इवन दो इफ यू स्टार्टेड विद द लोअर इनकम, राइट? बट at the same time, if you are progressing, choosing a right path, working hard, right? Not working hard like you are spending time on you know, work smartly, right? Not hard work. Obviously, you have to do hard work in the terms of study, but when it comes for the work wise, right? You act as a smartly, right? You don't have to work like a uh, day jobbers, right? So you spend a lot of times on figuring out कि नहीं नहीं ये आज ही होना है, आज ही होना है. Slowly अगर progression करते रहोगे तो obviously end of the day you will match the guy who started earning more than you at the same time after 10 years or 5 years or 6 years. It's all depends, right?
Yeah,
How you progress, how you craft yourself, basically.
exactly. I know some people like that जिन्हें मतलब startup join किया, like in Bangalore, working in a really a 2 BHK apartment, yeah, with 3-4 employees, yeah, and they worked there for 5 years with very nominal salary. I'll not go in numbers, with very nominal salary, but then they knew about the system as such, everything about the system, because वही 4-5 लोगों को सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, yeah, from requirement gathering से लेके deployment सब कुछ करना है उनको, they know everything. So जब after that they started moving, they starting getting salary increment like 5x, in some cases even 10x, or after let's say 10 years, maybe the people who had got good salaries at the start, they are earning less than those people, because उनका जो स्कोप ऑफ नॉलेज था वो बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा था, बिकॉज बड़ी कंपनी में और बड़े उसमें ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में यू हैव अ लिमिटेड स्कोप ऑफ लर्निंग, बिकॉज हर चीज के लिए कुछ ना कुछ है, या सो देयर इज एन डिप्लॉयमेंट को हैंडल करने के लिए कोई है, रिक्वायरमेंट को हैंडल करने के लिए कोई है, बट अब आप छोटे से एनवायरनमेंट में काम कर रहे हो, एंड इफ यू सेक्रीफाइस लेट्स से द मनी पार्ट इनिशियली, लिटिल बिट ऑफ टाइम आल्सो, you have a chance to learn a lot of things. Or you have asked me, okay, that if you send me 10 years back, yeah, kya karta main? I think I would have also changed this. I've I would have started with a startup, yeah, initially, because that gives a learning which you cannot which you cannot have in your life, yeah, any other place, yeah. Big organization, yes, they can give different kind of learning, but career ke starting, I think startup or a small organization is the best place to learn.
I think that's a thanks for giving this perspective, because this is like a real use case to everyone, right? Who's starting, even starting from the lower income or starting from the higher income. Yes. So I think, yeah, that's it. I don't have more questions on it. So thanks for accepting my invitations, having here for Tech Excel. So Tech Excel, we generally call industry experts, where we call people who done great things in their area, so that they can give their perspectives, and who our viewers can easily relate, because everyone has their different perspective, right? So viewers can easily relate their perspective, and try to match and cope up and learn things, which is uh, I mean, these things will obviously always gives you the understanding different aspects of your life. So yes, thanks for joining me on this Tech Excel session. If you want to give something about my viewerships, if you can just tell
Yeah.
us something about this channel.
Yeah, sure. First, thanks, Brijesh, for calling me in. It was a lovely experience. Yeah, I've not done much, yeah, but I also do sometimes, yeah, consulting, and yeah, people ask me questions. Yeah, not exactly in that way, but yeah, but first time I'm doing something like this, so thanks a lot, yeah, for calling me in. And for your viewers, I think you have great setup of different topics with on different days with different areas. I would like just say that this is the best place, or one of the best places to learn about new technology and all. Brijesh is a really big network, so there were already people, yeah, came. Maybe there will be a lot of people coming after this also. So stay tuned to this channel, yeah, for the Tech Excel interviews or for learnings, yeah, for machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all, yeah. Brijesh has hell lot of experience in that. I guess now working for almost 7-8 years. Yeah, I guess at least 7 years. Yeah, 6-7 years he's working in this, just on the machine learning domain. So yeah, be with him, like, share, and subscribe. And I guess, yeah, we will have good enough number. Yeah, that we can impact, yeah, society in a good way.
Thanks, Vinay. Thanks for the good words. Thanks for the joining.